All right, so I want to show you another way of constructing a window, and then we will work into how to call Python files from other tabs. So we'll probably save this one out. So let's do this again. I'm going to zoom in. And I know it might be overkill showing you another way of adding a window, but it's kind of good to just sort of practice that since it's the foundation of how we're going to be building a lot of our tools. So we're just going to do the same thing. We're import in the my commands. And don't forget your dot operator. And we're going to be using MC as our keyword for bringing in those. I want to define a function here. This one we'll call show user interface. And in this, we want to come up with a variable that we're going to be using just to store the different parameters. So for this one, it's just going to be the title and then the width. So we can just call this window for now. 1 maybe, or windows. We'll do the generic that you see a lot is just my win or my window. It's up to you, whatever explains it best. And then we're going to use mc.window. And window is a pre-made method, and this is what we would put for our two parameters. So the first thing is, what do we want to name our window? So this could be, we used like my cube in the past, we'll just use title, and we'll make this title equal to, like prompt, I guess is a good one. And let's maximize this. That's probably the best way to show you how to do this. And then inside of this prompt, we want to set our width and height. Remember, it's a camel-backed operator, you can say. So it's just width and height like this. And then you just put in whatever you want your width and your height to be. So I'm going to just go with 400 by 400 because the resolution of my monitor is pretty big. And we want to stack these on top of each other. So we're going to do a column layout, right? And so we just do mc dot column layout, and then we can actually, this is fairly new, we never did anything like this. We'll just add a text label here, and we'll call this text, and then we'll put a label inside of there, and we'll make that equal to information about our window goes here. And then we want to show this window. Now, this is more about like creating the window. This isn't calling the method. So what we do is we want to call the show window method. And then we just want to put inside of here this my window that we created. And then the way you call a function is outside of the method or function itself. You just call it like this. And remember what I said about Python. It's a indented based language, which means like these represent our curly braces. Like, so everything indented, it shows up inside of our method. So I'm actually going to hit Control A to select all, then Control C. Now to run this, you can either push this or hit Control and Enter. And off to the side here, you can see we have a window, and inside it says information about our window goes here. All right, so let's go through this again. We're just sort of building on what we learned before by sort of repeating some of the processes. So what we're going to do is we're going to define another method, and we're just going to call this button method. And inside of this, we're going to use this keyword called args. Now what this does is it catches all of the arguments that come into it, and it sort of stores it. Now I'm going to get rid of that I in button method, and I'm going to put a colon here and hit enter. And you'll notice right off the bat, by putting a colon here, it identifies that this is a method. I mean, aside from the define keyword here, and it automatically indents it for us. So if you remember before, we used the mc.polycube to create our cube, and all we have to do now is we have to call this button method inside of our show UI method so that the button appears. So remember this last line here, and let's go ahead and comment this out. I'm going to put a hashtag here. This is what shows our window on the screen. So below this, what I'm going to do is we're going to say maybe click or welcome. This could be a welcome message. Welcome to the 3D model creator. Now, don't do anything this hokey, but whatever. Just for fun. So we're going to paste that out, and then inside of here, buttons below, create geo. Now below that, we can actually add our button. So I'm just going to do mc.button. Now it needs to know a couple things. One, it needs a label. I'm actually going to copy this, and we can just call this just cube or something for now. And then the second parameter really is just calling this polycube method. So all we have to do is say, well, what command are we doing? Well, the command we want to do is just call another method that's inside of here. And the method that we're going to call is this button method whenever this button is clicked. So I'm going to go ahead and hit control. I'm going to copy this for now. I'm going to hit control enter. And what you'll notice is now we have a welcome to the 3D model creator, button below creates geo. Let's bring this down a little bit here, and I'm going to hit, now forgive this guy, it's for the other rigging videos that I'm creating, but let's hit cube here, and it looks like we get a little bit of an error, and it says polycube. Now the reason is because it's actually a lowercase p for polycube. So, and we're going to fix this too. Notice when I hit control enter here, it actually spawned another window for me. And we're going to go back just like we did before. We're going to work on it so that it checks if the window's there, it deletes it. So let's go ahead and hit cube. And you can see it spawned several cubes to our scene. I think this is actually a good place to stop for now. And then in the next video, we're not going to be repeating a lot of this stuff. So let's kind of drag this in here. We're going to be using this as our jumping off point. Actually, we need that show UI to continue on moving forward. Actually, one last thing I want to do is start to save this off. Now, for this, I'm going to just call this sort of like test script or something. So in here, I'm going to do file, save script, and within this I have a couple others, but I don't want to be in the editor temp. I want to make sure that I'm inside of Maya 2020 and then inside this scripts folder. And so this is where you want to save yours too, because by default when you're running a script or you're calling a script, it's going to call it from here. Like when you go to import it in, it's going to call it from this default scripts folder. You might have to set up your Maya environment variables to do that, and I'm probably going to do that in another video to show you if the next one doesn't, like if you go to run this script and it doesn't work, you probably have to go back in and set up your Maya environment variables to do that. But anyway, I'm going to call this like play, and that's about it, because we're just kind of playing with Python in the scripts, and I'm going to hit save. So that's it for this video.